prunes.com.
It's time for Healthy Living. I'm your host, Dr. Richard Betts. This program provides information to help you stay healthy, happy, and full of vitality so you can contribute at the highest level to your family, friends, church, and community. I start each show with a disclaimer. It is important that you contact your healthcare provider before implementing anything I may talk about. Hello, and welcome to Healthy Living. I am your host, Dr. Richard Betts. I'm excited about today's topic because it is often overlooked. In my opinion, it is a superfood everyone should be consuming on a daily basis. Today's program will detail 8 amazing benefits of prunes. Toward the end of the program, I will also provide a couple of great additions to your daily regimen that will increase your health exponentially. These additions to today's program will be well worth your time. If you, if you implement not only using prunes daily, but by implementing the 2 additional things I will explain, your doctor and medication bills can certainly decrease. You also feel much better as your body heals from ailments you may have experienced for years or decades. Prunes have been around for eons, and it is my belief that plum trees were one of the original fruits in the Garden of Eden. I believe this to be true due to their amazing benefits on so many systems and biochemistry within the body. When plums are sun-dried, they are packed full of life-giving components. If you have heard of prunes, you know that they have been a quick remedy for constipation. And unfortunately these days, we have forgotten about that constipation because all of the drug companies have over-the-counter medicines that might help with constipation, and so we reach for those instead of reaching for prunes. My recommendation is that you definitely reach for prunes for constipation before you reach for the over-the-counter medications, because as you will learn, prunes are very, very high in many types of nutrients that are beneficial not only for constipation, but a bunch of other wonderful things. Interestingly, prunes are also beneficial for uneasy stomach symptoms as well. So how many of you out there actually reach for antacids? Believe it or not, prunes are beneficial for any kind of upset stomach. So much better to reach for prunes than take any over-the-counter or prescribed antacid medications, because these over-the-counter and medical prescribed medications can actually increase the depletion of nutrients within your body. As I discuss this amazing fruit, I hope that it will become more and more evident why each and every person should be consuming prunes on a daily basis. I realize that many people in my audience are baby boomers. As we age, we are presented with a natural occurring digression of sight, known as presbyopia. This is old eye disease. If you implement prunes, believe it or not, into your daily consumption, you will see better. The vitamin retinol, which is responsible for healthy vision, happens to be very high in prunes. Now, retinol is made from vitamin A. Without proper amounts of vitamin A in the diet, a person can experience dry eyes, night blindness, and even cataracts. You know, how many of you out there are experiencing one or all of these particular situations? And some of you have probably been prescribed over-the-counter or medical prescription medications that are supposed to help with these particular symptoms. And often they may help for a period of time, but they are not relieved completely. I would highly recommend prunes for better health. Now, number 2 on the list is the amazing amount of antioxidants. In fact, Many of you might have heard that the fruit that contains the highest amount of antioxidants is blueberries. But, in fact, prunes are higher on the scale of antioxidants. They are packed with iron and manganese, which work as strong antioxidants. The plant phenolics in prunes are highly bioactive substances that protect the cell membranes from everyday wear and tear. Now, they protect your body from radical damage and keep it fit and healthy. So, prunes provide vitamin A, which creates retinol, which helps not only your eyes, but it also helps antioxidant-wise. Number 3, in the benefits of prunes is keeping your cardiac muscle stronger. You know, recently in the news, we've heard about a lot of people having a lot of cardiac problems during the last couple more years of COVID. Now, my question is, how many of you or your family members are on some sort of medication for the heart, whether it's because you have arrhythmia or your heart is not as strong as it should be? What if they were to ingest prunes on a daily basis? What kind of result would you get from that? In my opinion, their heart would get stronger and stronger. There's an enormous amount of research on prunes and the nutrients within prunes that help heart health. Everyone requires a strong, healthy heart. Obviously, even children can benefit from consuming prunes. Interestingly, potassium is an essential nutrient that is required for proper functioning of the heart. But another benefit of potassium is proper nerve function. Those individuals who are experiencing neuropathy benefit greatly with the simple addition of prunes. Interestingly, potassium is a significant blood pressure lowering nutrient. This simple addition of adding prunes to your diet can decrease heart disease, dizziness, heart attacks, and stroke, high blood pressure. I can't emphasize how amazing this particular fruit is to your overall health. As stated at the beginning of the program, number 4 is constipation relief. So, why are prunes so beneficial in constipation? That's a great question. A major reason is that one prune can make up 3% of your body's daily requirement of fiber. The fibers actually pull more moisture into the digestive tract, which increases the bowel to move more smoothly and not get dried out and stuck. Prunes are integral in helping the body digest food properly as well. Now, let me emphasize the importance of making sure that you have enough fluid in your intestinal tract. Think of it this way. If you're at a slide in your local park and you slide down, let's say for instance, a heavy piece of fabric that doesn't move very well, okay? What happens is that maybe a portion of the way down the slide, you end up sticking to the slide and it doesn't move. However, if you have something that is more slick to the slide, you are going to move down the slide much, much quicker. The same concept holds true with the intestinal tract. The more fluid that you have in the food, the easier the poo moves down the slide. Now understand, the large intestine is one of the most important areas of the body, and it does basically 3 things. There are others, but basically 3 things. 1, it holds the poo before you evacuate it, and 2, it actually reabsorbs the water that was in it while it was going down the small intestines. And the last one is this is where most of your B12 is absorbed into the bloodstream. So if you are dehydrated or you are not drinking enough water and your body requires to suck out all of that water that's in the feces in the large intestine, your feces is not going to move quickly through the large intestine. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later in the program. Number 5. Now, in this list is prunes protect against, hopefully everybody is listening to this, especially my baby boomers and females, osteoporosis. What? That's crazy. How can prunes help with osteoporosis? Well, believe it or not, a university study in the United States concluded that prunes may be able to reverse osteoporosis in postmenopausal women. Wait, what? You mean I don't have to take the Boniva or other osteoporotic drugs? Well, according to the study that involved menopausal women who were asked to eat 100 grams of prunes daily, they found bone formation improved drastically over 3 months. I don't know about you, but 3 months is not that long, especially if I'm going to be able to build bone and keep that bone. Because as I grow older, I have a tendency of the possibility of falling. And what happens when we fall? When we're older, we have a higher potential, especially if we have osteoporosis, of breaking a hip and creating a comminuted fracture. What comminuted means is pieces. Unfortunately, when a person breaks a hip and it's in pieces, science and research shows that that individual's life expectancy decreases drastically. So we want to make sure that we have nice, hard, healthy bones. And according to this particular study, just 100 grams of prunes per day fulfills the body's need for a mineral by the name of boron. That's B-O-R-O-N. Now, boron is integral in solid, healthy bone formation. Interestingly, if you take a look at the effects of some of the bone hardening prescribed medications, you will see that there are 2 cells called osteoclasts and osteoblasts. The osteoblasts build bone, the clasts break it down so that it releases the nutrients, specifically calcium, into the bone when the pH of the blood goes out of normal range. And unfortunately, with today's foods we are ingesting in the center of the grocery store, that causes an enormous amount of acidic environment in the blood. And so the body has to curtail that acidic environment by breaking down bone and getting it into the blood. Remember, the 2 cells are the clasts and the blasts. So the clasts break the bone down and the blasts build the bone. Interestingly, most of your prescribed medications for osteoporosis are stopping the functionality of the bone breaking down cells of the clasts. Now, in reality, is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? Well, the problem is that when we stop that action, we can actually increase our blood's pH balance, and then the body has to find that calcium from somewhere else. Well, guess what? Every single cell requires calcium. So the body decides where to take that calcium from what cells. Unfortunately, the cells that make up certain systems will get very sick. And then guess what happens next? We create symptoms and eventually get diagnosed with new diseases. So it's extremely important, yes, not only should we be consuming foods high in calcium, but we really, in my personal opinion, should not be stopping particular cells from doing what they're supposed to do. We should be increasing our nutrient content so that the bone has what it needs, what it needs in order to do what it was designed to do. Other nutrients that the bone requires is things like sulfur and, as I said, boron. These are extremely important. So where does the sulfur come from? The sulfur comes from your cruciferous vegetables, and it's comes from things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and that is a very, very good source of something called sulforaphane, which the body breaks down and creates sulfur, and then it puts it into the bone. Now, the other thing is that the prunes have very high potassium, and it's found in prunes also contributes to the strengthening of the bone. So there's another mineral that's extremely important in building bone. Another bone benefit of prunes is that they are an excellent anti-inflammatory food and are excellent at relieving pain from, get this, arthritis. So wait a second. Are you telling me that if I consume 100 grams of prunes, that I could actually decrease my need for arthritic pain medication? Yes. The answer is yes. Yet another possible medication that can be reduced or removed with daily consumption of prunes. Now, next in our list of benefits from prunes is number 6. They increase, this is important especially for ladies. Guys, we don't really have a huge problem in this particular issue, but ladies, you all like to have nice looking hair. Believe it or not, prunes help your hair luster and strength. Prunes are high in iron, and this ensures the body is not deficient in iron. Many people have iron deficiency. Unfortunately, taking iron pills doesn't get the amount of iron that we would like to get into the system. It's better to get your iron from foods. When a person is deficient in iron, symptoms like skin dryness, discoloration, and hair loss occur. I can't tell you how many patients I have had that come in and say, you know what, I'm losing my hair. My hair is getting thinner and it's really dry and brittle. Well, one of the things that I recommend is that the patient start consuming prunes. By providing the body with prunes in a relatively short period of time, you will experience the shiniest, silkiest hair after regular consumption of prunes. Now, number 7 on the list is skin. If you want to have glowing skin, prunes, if regularly consumed, will load your body with essential vitamins and minerals. The largest organ in your body is the skin, and the prunes will benefit greatly from this the skin will benefit greatly from this daily consumption of prunes. I always tell my patients that as long as the body has the right environment, the right building blocks, and the right attitude, it will heal itself. Prunes will give your skin glow and radiance that no over-the-counter cosmetic will be able to provide. The question is why? Well, over-the-counter cosmetics are actually, this is a dirty little secret in our nation and throughout the world, is that if you take a look at cosmetic products, you'll notice that there's not a whole heck of a lot of information about it. And the reason is that for whatever reason, they have dispensation of providing you a product list. Even perfumes. Now, it used to be that we would take essential oils and create these amazing smelling perfumes. Now, we are not using essential oils. What we are using is we are using synthetic, man-made smells, and then we take those. These smells are created from particular chemicals. And so we put those chemicals together, create this smell, and we spray it on our skin. Unfortunately, our skin is not too fond of that, and it takes an enormous amount of nutrients in order to stop the negative actions of these particular chemicals in these particular perfumes. So understand that when we are looking at the skin, we have to be very, very careful. Oftentimes what happens is that the skin is the first detail that starts to have reactions to the point at which disease can start internally. Think of the skin as the canary in the mine. We are looking at the skin as the precursor to what's going to happen to either the entire body or the systems within the entire body. So the skin is actually a view of what's happening within the body. Now, the last but not the least benefit of prunes is number 8. Drum roll, please. Believe it or not, prunes help weight loss, promotion. I've already discussed some amazing benefits of prunes, but now I'm going to chat about prunes and weight loss. Now, research has shown that when prunes are consumed on a regular basis, they help in shedding unwanted fat. With their jam-packed nutrients, the liver is more able to rid the body of toxic waste that has been stored in fat cells for years or decades. By doing this, there is no need for fat, and the waistline gets thinner and thinner. I recommend that you blend prunes in water and drink the juice in the morning, every single morning. This drink keeps you feeling full and energetic, which curbs any unhealthy cravings or in-between snacking. Those with diabetes, those with diabetes will definitely benefit from this daily use of prunes that will help control sudden spikes in, get this, blood sugar, and they are digested very slowly. So by consuming prunes, even though a lot of people will say, oh, but prunes have a lot of sugar in them. Well, the problem is that it's very difficult for the body to access that sugar because it is within the fiber. So in order to get that sugar access, the body has to go through an enormous amount of digestive processes to release that sugar. And this benefits your body because it is helping make sure that your blood sugar level is lower, and so therefore the body is going to pull fat out of the fat cells and break down those triglycerides into 3 molecules of sugar, which takes a long time as well. A reminder that eating prunes are very beneficial. Now, interestingly, this also increases insulin sensitivity on a cellular level. This is amazing. Now, excess consumption can create diarrhea and bloating, so you want to make sure that you're careful in exceeding the amount of prunes. So make sure you don't consume any more than 100 grams per day. Here's a bonus attribute of prunes. Prunes lower, get this, cholesterol. The fiber in prunes will bind with bile acids that contain cholesterol so that cholesterol does not get reabsorbed further down the digestive tract. This significantly helps in lowering blood cholesterol levels. Well, look at there. So you're telling me that if I ate prunes on a regular basis that I may not need my cholesterol lowering medication? The answer to that question is yes, I've seen it happen. Of course, as you heard at the beginning of the show, any recommendations I make, you need to get in contact with your medical professional before you start any thing that I might suggest. The last bonus is prunes are beneficial for hepatitis. Now, hepatitis is liver inflammation. Prunes provide nutrients that help the body heal liver disease. Yes, in fact, a clinical trial was done to check how prunes affect liver function. Those individuals in the study had increased liver enzymes due to damaged liver cells, and this was done by a blood test. It was found by a blood test. The participants were given 3 prunes soaked in a glass of water overnight. After 8 weeks, there was a significant reduction of transaminase and bilirubin, suggesting that prunes have properties that increase the health of the liver. So far, I have discussed some of the nutrient attributes of prunes, but I would like to add to this list. Prunes have a good source of vitamin A, B6, C, and K, along with iron, manganese, copper, and potassium. And there are many phytochemicals that are extremely beneficial, including enzymes that help your body heal itself. As promised, I will now discuss a couple of great additions to your daily regimen that are easy and give your body amazing health. I discuss the importance of water regularly with my patients. Clinically, I found that people who are not consuming enough water have the most disease states. I educate my patients on the importance of water. When they take this recommendation, they find that their health begins to get better and better. The number one amazing thing you can do for your body is hydrate it. Start at the beginning of the day. As soon as you urinate, drink 2 full glasses of water. Remember, it has been hours since your body has had any water. The body can only live for a couple days without water. So this nutrient is the most important since every single cell in the body requires water. Not only that, but every single chemical reaction requires water. This is why we are looking for planets that have water. If there is not water, it can't support life as we know it. Drinking these 2 glasses of water right when you get up will increase so many reactions that you will have more energy. You will defecate easily. Your thought process is focused and easy, and the list goes on. Water is the most amazing nutrient on earth. The second thing I'm going to share is stop drinking any type of pop, soda, exercise drink, or anything like it. These are making you fat and unhealthy. You are literally killing cells in your body each time you drink things like this. I know some of you are saying, I've been drinking my Mountain Dew or Coke for years or decades and I'm still alive. You are right. Because the body is amazing, we can do horrible things to it and it will still try its darndest to stay alive. But I would encourage anyone who is consuming pop to do a self-evaluation. How do you feel? Do you feel energetic and good all the time? How many medications are you on? If you are on just one medication, you are not healthy. Your body is missing something, and the doctor has to prescribe you a medication to stop the downward spiral of disease. I would encourage you to not drink soda or pop or any other energy drink. Exercise drink for an entire week. Then reevaluate how you feel. I am positive you will feel so much better. Your body will lose fat and love you for this. Lastly, I want to let everyone know that you should be drinking at least half your body weight in ounces per day. This is the amount of water that is required for you to maintain health. Always, always remember that you are the only one in charge of your health. You are an accumulation of all of the choices that you made up to this point. If you want to not have all of the symptoms you currently experience, it is up to you to change your lifestyle. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. The discussion on prunes and water have hopefully given you tools to increase your health. Remember, health is a journey, not a destination. We must always continue to become as healthy as we can for our family, friends, and community. Until next time, continue to strive for healthy living.
You're listening to AM 1340 KROS, Clinton, Iowa.